Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Menomonee Falls Public Library Board of Trustees monthly board meeting on Wednesday, October 15th, 2025 to order. We will skip over the public comment period since there is nobody here to comment. And we'll go right to the consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda will be approved in one motion unless any board member requests that an item be removed for individual discussion. That item can be considered at an appropriate time during the board's regular order of business or under new business. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the September 2025 regular board meeting?
Motion approved.
Seconded.
Second. Okay. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving the minutes from the September 2025 regular board meeting and the bill approval for September 2025 in the total amount of $50,214.76, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's passed. Next we go to the committee reports. First up is the Policy Review Committee. We're discussing and considering for approval Policy Review Committee's recommendation for amendments to Policy 5.01 postings and exhibits. Can I get a motion to approve the Policy 5.01 postings and exhibits as recommended by the Policy
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Jackie, would you like to walk us through the changes?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's very minimal changes in this one. We talk about the public handout case in the lobby, not actively monitored by library staff. We don't have that. And then we also clarify what the first come, first served basis examples of various organizations are, including the Menomonee Falls Library Friends. Just some clarifying language of the library director and their designee throughout, and then we eliminated the list of exhibit and display areas because that is consistently changing as we change the building, move things around. So we eliminated that because we are constantly moving those around and it's not guaranteed.
Any discussion?
I did have one item.
Yeah.
On number 6, and this is not something that changed, but it says "you" there, and it's the only place in the policy where it says "you," and it seemed out of place versus it saying "exhibitor."
Yeah, that's fine. I can
mean,
definitely change you to the exhibitor.
I mean, it's a minor
Yeah.
thing, but it just
I'm fine
kinda
with
stood
that
out.
change.
Okay.
Language consistency, definitely.
Any other questions or comments? All right. All in favor of approving policy 5.01 postings and exhibits as recommended by the Policy Review Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Next, we are discussing and considering for approval the Policy Review Committee's recommendation for amendments to Policy 5.01 fiscal. Can I get a motion to approve Policy 5.02 fiscal based on the Policy Review Committee's recommendation?
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second. Jackie, would you like to walk us through this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the first page, we added the charter and purpose statement of the Finance Committee, since that is a newly added committee since the policy was last updated. Then moving on to page 2, we removed a statement about the library board treasurer selecting bills from the list and reviewing supporting documentation each month, because that was something that was done before we had the current billing system that we have now and the billing software we have now. Under the annual operating budget, we made sure to eliminate any references to Fund 220 and 221, since going forward those will be merged. On the third page, we included information about the credit card payments. Anything that you see in blue are the recommendations from the village attorney regarding the liability and release of liability in regards to those credit card payments that go through Bridges library system.
Perfect.
We added information about monetary gifts. We clarified cash receipts and removed anything that would be procedural. versus policy. And we clarified who is responsible for maintaining the fixed assets inventory, including the technology inventory, and all of those go to the business manager. We also did rearrange some things, so you'll see on page 5 that we moved things around. We included a new section about lines of credit for clarification purposes, and bumped monetary gifts up towards the top of the policy, just so that it read more in order. Other than that, it remains the same.
Any discussion?
I had a question, just for clarity. On page 3, the second paragraph, I just want clarity that it talks about the lapsing accounts, the first sentence, or they're classified as lapsing accounts, ending July, or December 31. And then 2-sentence letter, it talks about unspent funds at the end of the year transferred to the fund balance. So I'm assuming it's the operating and building maintenance budgets are lapsing accounts. So that's gone if we don't use it. Is that correct? And then everything else, unspent funds roll over?
So at the end of the fiscal year, the operations and building budgets, they are considered lapsing accounts because they zero out at the end of the year, and then all of that money goes into the fund balances, which is, so it doesn't stay in the account. It's not like we're carrying over X amount of budgeted monies for the salary line into the next year. Regardless of what budget line it goes in, it goes into the fund balance.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, well, I would just try, I guess my clarity was, the first sentence clearly states 2 accounts, right? Or is that one? Operating and library building maintenance budgets.
So that would have been the 20 and the 221.
Those are lapsing accounts. And then, okay,
I think maybe just removing, making the word budget into a singular.
Yeah.
That would reference just one account. Would that help to clarify that?
That's, that helps, because, well, that helps one, but then I was trying to understand, so I was just trying to understand what happens with as a lapsing account, what that does to the funds versus this other line that talks about unspent funds.
So they're essentially saying the same thing in a
Okay.
way. The account itself is lapsing. The account at the end of every fiscal year has to zero out. Those funds, like, it's not a use it or lose it though. It's a use it, and whatever unspent to zero it out is then dumped into the fund balance for use later on. It just can't stay in that
Okay.
account.
So the unspent funds from those accounts.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that clarifies it for me.
Yep.
Okay, I understand.
The auditors will get you.
Alan, do you have
Yes.
a way that would maybe sound more of what he's trying to get at?
Basically, you just said, unspent funds from those accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I read it, I thought there were two accounts. This account was
So make it more
lapsing funds,
clear.
and these other accounts,
Right, and lapsing can refer to that use it or lose it thing as well, but really what we're trying to say is, yes, it's lapsing, but we get to keep the money, it just goes into the fund balance.
got it.
I would move the unspent funds to basically be the next sentence.
Got it.
To make that piece flow, so that way we're linking the lapsing account to the unspent funds line, and that way
Yeah.
those two are in sync then.
Yeah, I think that makes a
I think
lot of
that
sense.
helps, yeah,
Okay.
that helps.
Okay, we can certainly do that.
Under sales tax, there's a capital levy. Or do I have an old copy? Staff members will make,
You mean you mean
It
staff needs to be capitalized?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, because it's the end of.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the beginning of the sentence. Yep.
Those changes don't need to go back to committee, do they?
No, we can approve it as amended. Any other questions? All right. All in favor of approving policy 5.02 fiscal as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Next, we have the Special Events Outreach and Fundraising Committee. So we'll get to Scott, your update in just a second, but first we're gonna do the discussing and consider for approval the committee's recommendation to adopt the statement of purpose and charter for the Special Projects Fundraising and Outreach Committee. Can I get a motion to approve?
Seconded.
Motion and a second. Scott, would you like to discuss the?
Yeah, I think the key, if I were to say, what are the key points here? We talked, and a lot of it was, okay, well, one piece, let's clarify what we do versus like the Friends or other. And that's why we came upon, our purpose was really more major fundraising. So the smaller donations and things, that flow is be more Friends. We're looking at more like capital projects or working with the company on a significant sponsorship or planned giving from someone. So those larger amounts would be our focus. So that's a point of clarity there. The authority, you know, we're a subset of this group, and we would provide updates to this group of what we're doing and approvals. Membership, we said 2 people from trustees should be on there, at least 2. We didn't set a specific number, but said at least 2. So that was membership. And again, we focus on the fundraising, major gifts, special projects. So some initiative that comes up with the library spaces or technology or something that we would want external funding, we would take that responsibility. Also be ambassadors reaching out. If we are out talking to companies or individuals on major things, we're doing that outreach. As far as governance, aligning with the library's purpose, what the library does, and also with the board. We meet at least quarterly, but probably more right now. We've already met more than quarterly as we're kind of getting up and running, and that's kind of the key points, I think.
All right. Any discussion?
So do we have any discussions on thoughts and ideas of major capital campaign ideas that we're aspiring to?
I know we're getting to one next.
We sure do.
Yeah.
I said, I know we're getting
That's
to one
after
next.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The
So
only,
then no discussion.
the only thing I would add
That's why we
to
got you, right?
the membership part of where it says that the committee shall consist of at least 2 members of the Board of Trustees, one of whom shall serve as chair. I would just add in there that the chair is appointed by the board president.
Okay.
Otherwise, it looks great.
I think we were kind of talking about that, Scott.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All in favor of approving the
Bless you.
Special Projects Fundraising
Bless
and
you.
Outreach Committee Statement of Purpose and Charter, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. Next, we're gonna talk about the first floor refresh fundraising plans.
John, now ask your question.
Hold on. We gotta do a motion in a second first. Can I get a motion in a second to approve?
Second.
All right. Now we can have discussion.
So, yeah, so we got that charter done. The information that David provided at the last meeting about how the high school went about their fundraising things was outstanding. So we really dug into that. use a little bit of a template. One of the nice things about the high school,
That's the school district, but that,
okay,
yeah,
school district,
yep.
is they have very clear areas to try to fundraise. It's the football field, it's the soccer field, it's the gymnasium. It's very clear. And then they also have very clear, here's what you can get. We can put your name on the field. We can put a banner up. You can be on the scoreboard. And that kind of clarity was really nice. So we said, well, maybe we can replicate that in a way. So we've been working on that first floor and saying, well, what are the spaces here? So that's what Jackie's kind of put together. Hey, you know, we have a vestibule. We have, you know, the lobby, all these different areas, and we've got estimates on that. And kind of using that as a framework of saying, okay, we can use that and maybe go out to the company and say, do you want to support an area? Or how do we want to do that? So we're in the midst of kind of pulling that together. And again, using the school district's work as kind of a template. And Jackie's put together a first kind of draft of what that would look like. And we're kind of going through that and saying, how do we take that and put it into a format that we can approach businesses and say, hey, here's what we're looking to do and what our offer is to them. So we got to figure that out. Some kind of interesting things, just noting. One thought was maybe we can talk to people who've already sponsored. And if you see the really nice Rotary Club sign by the Copy Center, probably the nicest sign we have. So maybe we can talk to Rotary, and then we find out, actually, we don't have a Rotary Club in the Falls anymore. And they're also, I think if you look at where the book returns are, that really nice big sponsor board, I think they're the biggest sponsor up there as well,
Yeah.
the Rotary Club. So we lost them. But there's an opportunity for us to go back though and look at all those companies and say, okay, who gave before, and do a refresh on it. So that's the process that we're in right now. And Jackie, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so what I did in terms of looking at the financials for this project and how we would divide it up by area so that there's multiple sponsorship opportunities at multiple different price points, is I took the initial estimates that we got from the contractor through Growth Design Group, and I essentially divided up the project and all of the financials that go into that and the punch list, and I divided it by area so that we have a rough idea of what the print copy station would be, the boardroom, the lobby, the vestibule, all those areas. So now that we have that, we're looking to put together the beautiful, you know, packet that we would be, the ask really for these sponsorships. And what I think would make the most sense, and you know, I'm certainly up to other ideas, is this is what I was thinking in my head, is that now that we have all of the pricing for the project, the rough estimate pricing, I could take that to the finance committee. Finance committee could look at it, look at our fund balances, look at our sources of revenue for this project, and see whether or not they feel that this is a project that they'd be comfortable pursuing in 2026 with the fund balance. Then we bring it to the full board. We go through the project in its entirety, talk about the justifications for all the updates, the lighting, the paint, the carpeting, the reason why we need to make those updates, talk about the possible sources of funding. Now, if we happen to get everything sponsored by corporations, that would be awesome. But definitely having a contingency plan in terms of using the fund balance monies for at least a portion of it, so that you as a board can feel confident saying, yes, we would like to go through with this project in 2026. Let's go ahead and start getting the fundraising going and getting the project in gear so that the special projects committee feels comfortable going forward, knowing that the full board also feels comfortable moving forward with the project. Because we don't want to go out into the community unless the full board feels confident that you guys are behind this project and moving forward with this in 2026. So I'm hoping that we would be able to meet with the finance committee before the next board meeting, and then I'd be able to present all of this project to you as a full board at the November board meeting. So really, we don't need a motion tonight for everything. I put that on there as a very optimistic, we're gonna have a total finalized plan for you guys, but there's a few steps that we need to, I think, go through before we get to that point.
I'm just gonna add too, keep in mind, if you have businesses that you think would be willing to get involved, if you have contacts, send them to Scott or myself or Jackie. For instance, you know, today I started chatting with a guy in a coffee shop, and come to find out he's one of the owners of a local business, and got the contact for the person. So like if you just ask questions like that, that would be super helpful
Yeah.
for us as we go forward, because sometimes just getting the contact is the biggest hurdle. So please let us know if you have anything.
I think all we would be voting on just approving the fundraising plans, right?
Well, and I don't think we have anything to approve, other than we're gonna take it to the finance and then bring it in, because I think there needs to be more discussion
Yeah,
before we vote on anything.
so we can table it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I need motions.
Motion, you.
Move to table the discussion until the next board meeting to give time for the finance committee to discuss as well.
All in favor of tabling the first floor refresh fundraising plans discussion, say aye.
Aye.
All right, next is Finance Committee.
We have not met, but we will be getting on the calendar before the next board meeting to discuss this and any updates before the end of the year.
All right. Next is the Library Board President's Report. I have been so busy this month, I don't even have anything to report, so.
Ooh, can I do your report about the trustee?
Oh, you can, yes, there you go.
Yeah. So I attended the trustee event out in Johnson Creek. It was a wonderful event. I actually was sitting with the individuals that were our representatives from Bridges. So that was really nice. Got a really good speaker about just community involvement and things like that. And it was nice to meet some of the other trustees from around the area. You know, from New Berlin, I met a couple individuals from Oconomowoc and Brookfield. So just to get to know a couple of the other trustees from around the area, it was a really nice event.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Next is the Library Director's Report.
All right, so as you can see from the statistics, circulation is going really well. If you look at our overall circulation, including print and digital, we continue to grow, and that's amazing. As an FYI reminder, we are ceasing Hoopla, and that actually begins at 12:01 a.m. tomorrow morning, so Thursday. So patrons will not be able to download any new content from Hoopla. They'll get a message that pops up. We have done marketing. We've sent out email blasts. It went on social media, so hopefully people are aware. But we are definitely prepared to talk to any concerned patrons and redirect them towards Libby for their ebooks, e-audiobooks, magazines. And that is Bridges system-wide, so none of the Bridges library systems will be offering Hoopla anymore. Depending on when they sign their contract, the dates will change, so not all Bridges libraries will be ending Hoopla tomorrow. Some of them have already ended, some of them have it through the end of the year, so it just depends on their individual contracts. So if you hear anything from other libraries like, we still have Hoopla, well, they won't, certainly by 2026. Card registrations are doing really well. We had library card sign-up month last month. We had the opportunity this month and last month to do some outreach. So we made it to Riverside for their health fair, which was really awesome. And we were able to just talk up the library, talk up the importance of getting a library card. Visitors continue to grow as well. So we're seeing more and more people in the building than we have in years previous.
What's like a typical day? Do you have that or not?
It's between 500 and 700.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
'Cause I
depending on
usually
the
say
day.
around 500. I want
Yeah.
to make sure I'm
Yeah.
kinda.
In summertime, it's not when we have our big programs, we definitely get over 1,000. It really depends on what happens, but certainly more in the summer.
How do you
So-
track that? I'm just curious.
So we have a people counter. It's actually a new people counter
Yeah.
because our old one stopped working. So it's more accurate, up to date. It's not over 20 years old. So we're able to really accurately track and get some great statistics from that. We also are able to get so much more reports from it, so we can see how many people are in the building hourly, how many people are currently in the building. And you can look back at the reports and see what was the weather like that day. Is there a reason why only 400 people came in? So it's really incredible reporting that we're able to get so that we can see when people are coming, maybe why they're coming, was there a big event that day, that sort of thing.
Have you seen any sort of effect on anything? And it doesn't look like from the numbers, from adjusting the hours. I'm just curious where we're closing an hour earlier. Have we seen any?
We haven't adjusted yet.
Or,
Yes.
Yeah, it's
oh,
not
that's right.
adjusted yet.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we haven't started that yet. But thank you for bringing that up. So as of January 1st, the hours are gonna be changing. We're gonna be closing at 8 PM Monday through Thursday.
right.
So starting pretty soon, we're gonna be putting out the information to people, getting the information out there with some press releases, blog posts, social media posts, just so that people have plenty of time to really get the information. Because unless they watch our library board meetings, they, likely would not know that. So stay tuned for those. We want to give people plenty of notice that these changes are coming, and that they'll need to change their schedules, but.
Jackie, sorry. I went to a meeting last night, you were there too. Are any of our neighboring libraries going to be open earlier or later than us?
Brookfield Public Library is open until 9 PM. I don't know if they're planning on changing their hours next year at all, but they are open until 9 PM. So particularly for,
So it'll be interesting to see.
it will be interesting to see. I think for meeting room usage, maybe there would be more Menomonee Falls residents looking to reserve their meetings there, because a lot of them tend to want to meet after 8 PM. So we'll have to see.
So we do have lots of more reservations at that time for the meeting rooms here?
We do have a significant amount of meeting that they would stay until like 8:30 or so.
8:30.
So we've already notified all of the meeting room users who've reserved within the past year or 2 years. Year, and let them know, just so you're aware, this is happening in 2026, just to give them ample time to look for an alternative meeting space if they really need to be meeting at that time.
I don't know what the proper way of doing this but have we asked them if this will impact their usage at our site? Is there a way to do that, to ask them? So because we're cutting it to 8, will that impact your choice in selecting us as a meeting venue? I mean, we probably should have had this discussion before we actually did adjust the hours, but I guess I didn't know this sort of usage information, so I'm just curious if we have or not. It's not,
We certainly could ask them. I think most of it is more anecdotal, like replies back to the email that we sent out saying like, okay, thanks for the heads up, we'll adjust accordingly, that sort of thing.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see with that one, I think. Until they actually are impacted, maybe we won't know the true repercussions.
What time do we close on Fridays?
5 PM.
That's not changing.
Okay.
Monday through Thursday is the only
Does
thing.
that seem to be a problem on Fridays?
Closing at
Yeah.
5? No.
Yeah.
No, I think people are always, we get a lot of, oh, I had no idea, when did you guys start closing at 5 on Fridays? And it's like, was that 2014? 2007, did we stop closing? We used to close at 9 PM. It changed in, I think, 2007, that we closed at 5. So it takes people a while to get the hang of things, I guess.
And I didn't mean to open up all that. My brain was
No,
going
don't worry about
printing,
it.
because we changed the printing right
Right,
immediately.
that was
That's the
immediately,
one that was
correct.
immediate. And had those backwards.
No worries, no, it's been a lot of changes, and we did that a while ago. So some other great news that I just want to share, a few of you were able to make it to the grand opening of the collabs, which is awesome, thank you for coming. We are 2 weeks into the collabs being live, and we've had 70 reservations, which is
Holy
incredible,
cow.
yeah.
That's great.
And we ask them when they reserve what they're using the room for, just generally speaking. We've had work meetings, 4 job interviews, community organizations meeting, and then also taking exams. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
it's been
awesome.
wonderful.
That is
I do think that's kind of the way, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Things, so many people have 100% remote jobs and.
Just looking at TOS's library schedule, they open at 9, close at 8. Friday, it's 9 to 5.
So it's not, I mean,
It's the same as what we will be.
well, and when we're
Yeah.
looking at the safety issues too, I think
That was a big
that was a
one.
big
Yeah.
yeah.
thing.
And last night's meeting just kind of made it, okay, so we are our village residents tend to, we have a lot of them using the other libraries. And so that's the only reason that kind of came up. I'm like, okay, so do we have a competitive, I guess, in a sense, library staying open to 9 is gonna catch all that? It's not a lot of,
Right, and are they gonna check out? If they have a meeting here once a month, are they coming here to check out or just use the meeting room? And so there's so many variables with that for sure. And you know what? Why not use multiple libraries? You know, if you're gonna have your meeting at a different library, that's awesome, but we hope you'll come here and check out
the
your
checkouts.
materials.
We're worried about the check.
I wonder if we find a way to add that to the, like what we talk about. Because if you have great spaces where people come to use them, that should be another service.
Yeah.
It should be another checkout.
Yeah, well, and what's good about the collabs is you have to have a library card to use it because there's so much technology in the space. And so there's so many people who previously used our study rooms, used our area, used our building, but they haven't had a library card to actually check out. And now they're like, oh, I'm gonna get a library card. So now we have another person with a library card holder who will maybe choose to check out materials from the library and use our space. So that's another really cool aspect of the collab that helps the library potentially gain more regular users. Not that we're hurting for users, you know.
Right.
You know, but yeah, so that was awesome. I just wanted to share that about the
If I
collab.
can add with the new people counter, I haven't looked since the first week, but I did look the first week that we had it installed, and we had very few people in the building between that 8 and 9 o'clock hour.
Mhm, yeah,
So not that many people.
no.
I really worry about the staff safety.
The traffic declined significantly between 8 and 9 p.m. So, and even during that time, we're not seeing many circulations. It's mostly study room usage and computer usage. So that's something that,
And once we have data on it, we'll have a better idea. I mean, you know, it's worth the discussion, but I don't think it is until really, you know, February or even March.
Yeah.
Where we'll have a little bit better of an idea what's going on, and then, you know, we can always reassess and work from what data we have.
yeah,
But, you know, I don't know if it's worth worrying about at this point.
right. I do think 8 p.m. is a reasonable closure time for a public library
Yeah.
in this day and age.
I agree.
Yeah, the only one that can 5 minutes later is Brookfield,
And that's 9.
and that's 9, and TOS is 8:30. All the local branches from MPS, Milwaukee Systems, all the branches close at 7 or
Yep,
6.
6 o'clock or 7, yep. So,
Brookfield might follow suit.
yeah, and yeah, we don't know what those discussions are. It's possible that, you know.
I don't think you lose users. That's my opinion. I just think, because really, I do think it comes down to geographical, because Menomonee Falls is such we span a great distance.
Yep.
And so,
We're tucked over in the corner here, too.
yeah, and you got that whole big section of our houses that are with Sussex, basically right there by Sussex,
Mm-hmm.
right by Germantown, you know, so right by Brookfield.
Right by Butler, yeah.
That's
And I know that we just got
Yeah.
asked if we could have 2 meetings a month for a group, so, you know, I don't think it's going to be an issue. People move things to make their plans work, right?
Right.
All right. Next is the village trustees reports.
We had a presentation from Brett from Ascension. Just came to discuss their hospital and how it operates. And it was very informative to people that had no idea, just like I didn't until we went and met with them. And then we had the quarterly report from the fire chief. And just reiterated, greatest responses that they have are the Station 98, which is the one on Main and Menomonee. It's just kind of interesting to know where they have most of their responses. Increase in calls that go out to Lannon. They have started where they're trying to do, please talk about this too, increase staffing from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. because that's when really the greatest calls come in. I always thought they'd be late at night, but no, they're really, we pretty much double our population during the workday in Menomonee Falls. So you can imagine increase incidents happen. We did have a proposal out to the Butler Fire Department. They are no longer going to have their own fire department. Looks like that's going to Brookfield. So we're, you know, yeah, Butler will be utilizing Brookfield's fire department, but we did put in a proposal to possibly be that one that provided that. And the work continues on, as far as public works goes, everyone knows Lily Road. That work started the week of 9/15, that continues. And Menomonee Avenue, we've talked about that in here before. That's been a huge project, long overdue. So everybody knows they've now changed the side of the road. It's still westbound, it's always gonna be westbound towards the hospital. But instead of being on the thoroughfare was on the north side, now it's on the south side. And we started our budget workshops last night. That will be continued Monday, but it looks like everything's pretty well set up and headed in the right direction. And that's it.
If I can jump in, just in case any of you were planning on attending the Thursday night budget workshop meeting that was initially scheduled, that one has been canceled. So don't show up at Village Hall on Thursday night. That one was canceled.
Did you have any updates from the meeting? Yes. Was it yesterday?
Do you want me to tell you about the? Okay, so thank you for coming to those who came last night. This is separate from Village Trustee, but I am on the Waukesha County Act 150 Committee, and that's some of the stuff we've been talking about is these standards or minimums to exempt that we are held to as a library in Waukesha County. And the reason that occurred, which is kind of to hold each library to a certain standard, so that our library per se isn't the only one spending a lot of money, putting all this effort into the services here and the materials, and then you have Brookfield doing nothing, not putting any money into it, and then everyone would come to our library and use it because everyone can use any library that they want. So it's pretty much the reasoning is how do we keep the libraries in our county held to a certain standard? And I can see the point in that. My only pushback has been, all right, but I feel like we should have autonomy as a library on how we utilize some of our money. Especially, I feel like you put directors in a position, you do all those things. So we have discussed it. Several of the directors agree that they would prefer to have a little more autonomy in where that money is spent in their library. So there's a lot of discussion on that, a lot of discussion on which standards we're gonna stick with, and that's gonna be ongoing. And a lot of formula discussion. Waukesha County's is the most complicated.
Thank you. That's a better way to describe it than they did last time. They used the word nuanced.
No,
I loved
it's
it.
It's complicated.
Yeah,
That was beautiful.
it's a lot of, I don't even, I'm just gonna leave it at that, because, yeah, it's pretty complicated.
They're not bad in some ways, but yeah, it's I love that. That's probably a better decision. It's very complicated to try and build in a lot of different aspects.
Right,
Most places don't look at all of the different areas like we do.
no, and I think we are the only county that has really a requirement that you are held to. I don't think there is any other county, or there isn't any other county that says, yeah, if you don't meet these minimums to exempt, you're gonna be paying double, or not double, but
Yeah.
you're gonna be paying more money to cover the, not true non-residents.
So I'd like to share my expectation. So I'm not a library expert, right? And the library is a lot of moving pieces. So I would greatly appreciate if some experts actually had some standards that you said, and not everything, like you're saying, right? But there's some things you know, okay, this is a standard. And if I can have faith in the people who did that, and they did a really good job of it, that would help me know, hey, we're doing a good job. Because somebody with expertise in it said that these are levels and this is good.
Yeah, they're doing it, based on per capita. And the hard part is, so if you just set a rate at a per capita, that gives you like okay, you have to have this many computers. Well, at some point, and there was a lot of discussion with them, we have several, I think we have 9 library directors on the board who agreed, well, at some point we have to revisit this and look at what is really the usage.
Yeah.
Times are changing, so that's where it's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
But
that's what I would assume. It'd be a data backed, it would be,
Yeah,
somebody that's not just sitting in a room and saying, here's a standard.
yeah, so I think there's gonna be a lot of work on this, I really do,
Yeah,
as
I think it is.
we bring all these things up.
Good, thank you.
Well, I'd like to say, if I can, that on your point, is that one of the ladies there who'd been here since like 2000 something, but she's like, the whole reason these standards got put into place was to prevent the little townships of putting a little library in their closet. Okay, yeah, now we have a library, so we don't get busted for that. And so I think and I agree with Ann at some points, I think what was the expertise and the determinations for those minimums? So it was an interesting thing to listen to last night. I'm not on the committee, but I'm going just to kind of get a feel for how all this works, but.
Yeah, feel free to come to them, you guys, it's,
I mean, as somebody who works in the healthcare field, I think it's one thing to have standards, but putting a monetary amount on things, I think loses a lot of the aspect of it, It's one thing to say, like, you have to have so many computers per resident, but yet your usage is only about a third of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah.
so,
and maybe that's the better way, and that's what I'm hoping will come down to, okay, what is the utilization within your library?
Yeah.
Because Jackie has she actually has
She does.
how much time is spent on every computer? Okay, what is the utilization?
Well, that's what it should go based off, is utilization instead of how many people. Because just because we have, you know, say we have 100,000 people, which I know we have more, but say we have 100,000, but only 20 people use the computer, we're getting charged, you know, we have to have that many computers for the 1,000 people, but only 20 people are using it. So it makes it very hard to have a conservative budget when you're trying to buy new technology every 5 years when it's not even being utilized the way it should be in the first place based on their formula. So maybe the formula needs to change.
And if that's,
You
I
know.
agree, so yeah, why do I have to put it into computers if, you know what, I could put it into an FTE and we get a little bit more programming happening instead of having, I hope those are the discussions that happen, it sounds like they will, so, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody is like wanting all the standards to go away. I think it's just more, like, Jackie should be able to say, like, well, only 10 of the computers get used, so that's what we're gonna go with, and let's spend the rest of the amount that would have gone to the other 10 computers on extra staff or more books or whatever, you know? I think Jackie should have that determination.
Right.
I mean, that's why that's why she's here, right?
Yeah, and that's the feel I got from the other directors. I think most of them felt the same way. Let's have standards, let's revisit them, but let's have flexibility in those.
All right.
Well, thank you for being on that, Ann.
Yes.
I know it's a time commitment, so thank you.
I know I said I bit off way too many things right now, so
Okay, next, school district reports.
Yeah, I have a few items. First of all, the next meeting on the 19th of November, I will not be present because I'm emceeing the Bands of the Falls. So I am not just sitting home, I'm with the band. So when you're done here, feel free to come out to the band program at the high school. It should be great. So sorry about that, on the 19th. On November 5th, we'll have our annual Veterans Day celebration on November 5th. That'll be in the Riverside Gym. Next year it'll be in the new gym. So that's November 5th at 1 o'clock. We usually have a wonderful ceremony. For the 2 years that I've been here now, it's my 3rd year. We usually raise money and give it to veterans or groups of veterans so they can do honor flights. So we're working on that as well. A few other things, I attended the ribbon cutting, which was great here at the library, so that was a lot of fun. It's great to see those spaces and all the work that was put into it. State report cards have come out, but the state of Wisconsin, DPI, in their ultimate wisdom, gives them to us and says that the numbers are embargoed or secret until they release them. So we have seen them, and I'll just, in education we call this an anticipatory set, which means things are looking really good. So math and reading, 3 years ago versus now, substantial increases across the board. If you look at our strategic plan, which is 1 year old now, we're hitting a lot of those targets. We'll have those reports coming at the next board meeting. So we're exceeding expectations as a district, but even at a higher level. A lot of substantial increases in a few buildings. But more to come on that, so I don't go into upsetting the wonderful DPI. The Community Ed and Rec Building Project, if you go on the district website, there's a lot of update photos and time-lapse photos, including more recent photos from the 10th of October. We're on budget and on time with that project. So most of the heavy lifting, actually all the heavy lifts are already done. So if you do any drive-by, it's actually looking, you can see the actual structure of the building now. So we're close to buttoning up and starting on the actual parking lot. We should have things closed up within a week or less. Like closed up, starting to be heated, and finalizing and starting the wood floor. So everything is poured, everything is ready to go. So we're excited about that. We're excited about that coming online, on budget and on time. Tentative opening January of '26, so a couple months, we'll open that up. So that's great for the whole community. You know, obviously that runs Saturday, Sunday nights, and there's a lot of alignment with things that go on here as well at the public library, just with they're both being community services. Fall's choir concert last night was outstanding. So we had a new choir teacher for the first time in multiple years. So we're really excited up. I went to the concert last night and they really sounded great. So the high school choir, we had 2 different choirs. I really did a great job. Pretty good crowd there last night. Emergency communication tests. If you're a parent in the district, if you didn't receive some messages today, I was getting those out there ahead of the snow and any other things like that. So there were tests that went out throughout the district. I made it very clear, hopefully, that it was a test, and this is only a test. And that really one of the big things we were trying to do is getting people to opt in on text. That one of the things that I had noticed that we want to get a lot more people opted in on text. So that was something that was the parents.
I know.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
I was getting ready to present.
Sorry about
And all of a sudden it's going off and they're like,
Sorry.
oh, Tom, your turn. I'm going, I have no idea what it is.
Sorry.
Someone's
But
patient, so.
I always appreciate that.
Sorry about that.
Well, no, I always appreciate it. It'll get to me somewhere or another so I know what's going on. And that, I always appreciate it, so.
Yeah, sorry about that. We are looking just to get ahead of the snow and not being just a day before bad weather. So we wanted to get that out there as a reminder, so that is out there. Just a few more things. We're past homecoming, coming the end of the football season. It's kind of that time of the school year where you're definitely done with the start of school and you're kind of into the holiday season, right? You can see the Christmas stuff out and the Halloween, all that Thanksgiving, and in education, that's how we define being done with the start of school. So we're done with the start of school and we're into regular time. So, which is an exciting time for all of us, all the time in schools. One other thing about North Middle School, we had a speaker at the start of the year with all staff. His name was Dr. Justin Patchen. He actually came and spoke to the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade separately. And Dr. Patchen is an expert on cybersecurity, and his presentation was to the students about how to stay safe online and how to make, with your phones and so I had bumped into him presenting to a staff of mine and students of mine when I was still a principal, 10 years ago. So he did a good job with our staff at the start of the year. I went to a few of his presentations. I was there for the 6th grade and the 7th grade earlier this week, and it was really outstanding. It was really outstanding for him to walk through scenarios about careful what you post, where you post. It's not really private anymore. There is no private. It's all out there. So it was more of from a safety perspective. So it was a really good presentation aligned to our start of school year speaker, and his name was Dr. Justin Patchen. So we're excited to be through the start of the school year and into fall.
Very nice. All right, next is the Friends Report. Scott?
Friends report, yeah, it was nice to have some of the Friends people at the collab ribbon cutting, since they had a big part of that. Last month I talked about the event, the Give Back event they had at Innovation Brew House. That was a big hit, and they were looking to do something else this fall. Don't have that quite planned yet, so they're looking at January, February will be the next event they have.
Sorry to interrupt, what did they raise at that, the third space, do we know?
Yeah, it was
Sorry if we already told that, I don't remember.
475.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we did say that last
Yeah.
time, okay.
Yeah, so really good. And people had a lot of fun. Good spot,
Yeah.
good spot. October 25th is their Halloween event. I think you've all got an email, or we'll get an email about that. That's the kids' event from 5 to 7. Pizza, cookies, scavenger hunt, all the things kids love. They were estimating that you don't sign up for it, you just show up. And they were estimating 40 people, but now they're thinking maybe double of that just because of the word of mouth, and there seems to be an awful lot of excitement. about it, so that's good.
Dinner night for the kids.
Yeah, yeah, break for the
Pizza
parents
and
too, go
dessert.
eat pizza and cookies. They have the campaign going on to get people signed up to be friends. And, you know, they started that lifetime membership, it's $250, and they've got 13 people signed up as lifetime members, so that's pretty good. That's the Friends.
Next meeting is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6 PM, and we are adjourned.